Welcome back, everybody, to the greatest, the most anticipated podcast in all of the DMV, all of the East Coast.
Yeah.
We are back cultivating conversations with DP². I am your host, DeAndre, with my co-host,
Deja.
and we are very excited to be back for another Tuesday. And I just want to say before we get started, we have not missed a Tuesday all year. Let's
Clock it.
clock that.
Clock it.
And also want to thank our special guest last week, Sasha, who was
Yes.
a great guest. She gave a lot of good advice, great tips. For
Mhm.
anybody that hasn't seen it, you can go watch it. Link in our bio. You'll be able to find the episode. Okay. But
Period.
today, it is a new Tuesday. So how have you been since last time I saw you? Even though we may or may not be in the same location.
Don't be dropping our
My
location.
bad. My bad.
I've been good. I'm trying to think what I had. I feel like the past week went so fast. I don't even remember, but I don't remember it being bad. So I'm gonna say it was okay.
Okay.
I don't remember it being bad.
Got mindless. It's just everything just doing all at once.
Oh, I was on spring break, so I didn't have homework and stuff. That's probably why I was chilling. I didn't have much going on. Yeah.
So,
How was
I
yours?
guess we switched weeks. I'm on spring right now, so
Yes.
I'm just trying to chill. But last week was good. Also, the weather has been getting better, so I'm excited about that. Just in general, and, overall, it's just been a nice week. It's just it's a happy Tuesday. So that's
happy Tuesday, y'all.
Looking forward to everything. So thank you everybody for joining live. Thank you for everybody for joining. Who joins after, who watches, because we know some people like to tune in to watch the replays, the videos.
Yes.
And speaking of replays, today we have a special guest, not a new guest, but a special guest, Lo-ProSports TV, who has been here before. And we are very excited to have him here again to talk all about sports, DMV, outside the DMV, every sport that exists. So welcome him in.
Yes. Hello.
My boy.
What's
W chat.
Oh my goodness. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. Excuse the cut, it's not haircut week. All is well.
All day.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here though. Glad to be with y'all.
Thank you.
No, we appreciate you as always.
Always.
There has been a lot going on in sports. So I feel like we should just get right into it. Let's just hop into it. So for those who might not know, March Madness is coming up soon. So I think like last week the women did their conference play, and then this week the men are, or something like that. But does anyone have? Well, I'll start with you, Romello. Do you have some prediction of who you think is going to win, both for the men and the women?
Okay, so I don't have any like favorites for the women, but I do know you have UConn, you have Notre Dame, who are like the top two schools, or my top two favorites. Then my sleeper for the women would probably be USC. Juju Watkins is just a dog. Like, I'm sorry, like she's tough. So
she's so tough.
So anytime I think she plays, she has the ability to like, go crazy. So I think, they can make if they can get maybe one or two tough games, victories, then I think they have a chance to win it all as well.
For sure.
As far as the men, you have Duke, you have Tennessee, you have Auburn.
Yeah.
Your power schools, but like I think it'll come down to like veterans, and I think the most, or seniors, I would say, it would be Auburn. So I do have Auburn winning it all this year.
I've been hearing a lot about the Auburn hype too, even though they just lost to Alabama. It's a buzzer beater.
That was a great game.
It was a great game. I've been hearing a lot about Florida too, but I also think that, like, kind of what Romello touched upon, the whole senior thing, the transfer portal is huge. The teams that are grabbing these older, young men, is a team I believe that's going to be likely to win the whole thing, because you get these freshmen or sophomores that are still developing. They're going against these 25, 24-year-old bodies. It's tough to, win that if you start at the round of 32 to make it all the way to the championship. So I think it's going to be good, though. I know that UNC ain't going to make no noise, though.
Slow your roll.
UNC is definitely quiet.
Okay, and I also think this is a good time to say, if people have their own opinions, put them in the chat, because we also want to hear what other people think. But yes, to be fair, I am not rooting for them, even though that is my alma mater. They have not been showing up. They are an unranked team.
True.
It's crazy. I feel like I thought I would never see that.
Very crazy.
So, I mean, I think for at least who I want to win for the women, I want USC to win. For the men, I don't even care. Oh my God. Like, that's my thing. But okay, now this was an interesting question. So I wanted to know, who do y'all think has a greater chance of being back-to-back champions? The Boston Celtics, and there's only one right answer. The Boston Celtics or the Philadelphia Eagles. DeAndre, you go first.
Yeah.
Definitely the Philadelphia Eagles.
Has a better chance of going back-to-back than the Celtics.
Okay. That's a tough question because the Eagles having money problems. They having money problems when it comes to cap space. They have to let some players go. They can't re-sign everybody. They don't got enough money for everybody that's want to stay on the team. Now look at the Celtics. They basically got the identical image of the team last year, but I think the competition has gotten better in the NBA, so it's going to be tougher. Romello, what you think?
I would
like to say.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but I would definitely go Celtics. I know Deja loves to hear that, but and you know, definitely echoing the reasons though that you already said, DeAndre. More so, the Philadelphia Eagles. I think they just lost like 6 defensive players, and I think their defense is has been pretty much what has I guess helped them get the Super Bowl this past year. Even though Saquon had an amazing year, they still got a good offense. O-line is still good. You still got your playmakers, but I think when it comes to the playoffs, it's all about can you make a stop? So, and I think them losing their defensive players will show later on in the season when as the games get tougher, it gets colder. So I'm going Celtics all the way.
Okay, what you think about the NBA competition? No, you don't see OKC coming up, Cavs.
So, and I think so. I have this conversation a lot, right? And everybody, the first team that they name is always OKC, and that's because they feel like SGA is the MVP, right?
Yeah.
But when you look at the roster, I don't think they have enough, like in terms of playoff, like pedigree. They don't have it. You know what I mean? Like you have got last year they were there. Last year they had a really good team. The team is pretty much the same. But when you start to look at players like, can you depend on Carson Wallace? Can you depend on Aaron Wiggins? Can you depend on even Lou Dort? You know what I mean? Like, even though he's a starter, but like, can you depend on those guys in the playoff, like deep playoff run? We've seen them make the playoffs the last 2 years. They lost in the first round, then they lost the second round last year. Maybe they make the Western Conference Finals, but then it's like, well, maybe they make it to the finals. But I just feel like if they're playing against the Celtics, you got dudes. You know what I mean? You got Olympians on that 3. I think 2 Olympians. You have Finals MVP. You have who could easily be the MVP if you stay hot throughout the rest of the season. Probably not easily, but potentially in Jason Tatum. So I'm going with the Celtics, man.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Thank you.
You Celtics just because for bias?
Not even for bias. I truly just don't think it's enough competition for them. Like I feel like with the NFL, people, in my opinion, sneak up a little easier than. I mean, maybe not, but at least from last year, I just felt like it was going. It was going either way a little bit for a second. So I just feel that the Celtics, to me, have a clearer path to be champions again than the Eagles. But a little bit of sauce off the court in the NBA. Did y'all see the little interaction between Stephen A. and LeBron James?
It got crazy. It got crazy.
Wait, for people who don't know, Stephen A. Smith is like what does he consider himself?
He's like sports analyst.
Yeah, he's like a mega analyst.
Yeah, he is on First Take and everything. But he, I guess, was saying some comments about Bronny and LeBron James on his platform. And LeBron James seen him at the game and basically was like, "Keep my son name out your mouth." In polite terms, that's what he said. So I wanted to know, what did y'all think about? Me and D already talked about this already a little bit, but what did y'all think about that interaction? Was that necessary? Was it warranted? Is it unprofessional? What do you think, Romello?
I think man to man, like when you start to and it was a little bit deeper because I seen another video where it like kind of sort of caught some of the audio of what they were saying. Like someone was sitting close, and of course people always had their phone, so they caught some of the audio, and it was like Stephen A had mentioned, because I do remember on First Take, I believe, or one of the shows he's on, he said something like, as a dad, like as a parent, something like, as a parent, you shouldn't want this for your son, basically, or something like that. And I think like once you start to talk about like, him as a basketball player, like LeBron probably doesn't care because Bronny doesn't care. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they're out there playing basketball. Basketball is much different than football. So, but he started to talk about, like, he literally said like to those, point, like, as a parent, you shouldn't want Bronny in the NBA, whatever the case would be. And I think that was the breaking point where it's like, bro, like, all right, I get it. You talk about his game, cool. But then when you start to talk about like my decisions or why I want him to play and me as a parent, like, you're going too far. So I think it was that. So all in all, LeBron wasn't wrong, man. I would have done it,
Okay.
Yeah.
No, Des, you go. You say yours.
No, well, I agree with Romello. I told you that. I was like, to me, if you, just as much as people say that when you're a media personality, that it's your job to critique players and stuff, it's also, when you say that, you need to be open to if someone has a certain reaction to what you said. Like, they hide so much behind the fact that that's their job, that they think that means you could just say whatever you want, especially with LeBron, where he rarely even says, he doesn't react in that type of way, barely ever.
Right.
No matter how much stuff people say about him. So the one time he feels like saying something, I'm like, hey, that he could have been saying all type of stuff by now. Like, I
guess I'm the odd one now. I don't know if I agree with LeBron's actions. First of all, someone in the chat said, begged him as a father to stop putting his son in a bad situation. Okay, so that's what maybe Romello's
reference. Yeah, right.
I just think LeBron, we did talk about this before, just kind of put a lot of pressure on Bronny, bring him onto the Lakers, sending those tweets out saying he's better than half of the league. Regardless of Stephen A's comments, I just think on their side of the ball that Bronny's in a position where it's hard for him to succeed by himself. So I think LeBron takes a lot of that feeling and burden on, and then like me and Deja kind of say he's projecting that. Insecure. I don't know if he's insecure. I'm not calling. Don't get on me. I'm not calling LeBron insecure.
He gonna pull up on you next and be like, "Keep my son there."
He cares for his son a lot, and he knows that his son maybe not be at the level of people thought he was gonna be at. So those comments made you just feel and hit different. But I just thought the place and time was wrong. I don't know if y'all can agree with me on that. At the middle side of the middle of the Lakers game, like,
no, that's fair. That's fair.
That's
my only thing with it. It's just I know that Stephen A's comments were public, so LeBron he can do his thing public too. It's just like in the jersey, he looked like he's 6'9", standing over top.
You went crazy. I bet he was gonna punch me.
No, that's hilarious. I know, and I don't want us to be biased in this next topic, but I think it is still a clear facts are facts. I'll say that.
Okay.
So taking it outside of NBA and NFL, let's bring it to the boxing ring, because
it's a good one. It's a good one.
For people who might not know, Lamont Rose Jr. is from the area, and he recently fought Gervonta Tank Davis in a fight. And there was some controversy on the result of the fight. Me and DeAndre both think that Lamont won that fight. Some people, I think a lot of people.
Well, not me. I don't think.
I
think Gervonta won, but.
Oh wow, you're crazy. Yeah, he's crazy.
That's what I think he won. I think a draw. I don't think Lamont did enough to win. I don't think to beat the champion. I don't think.
Okay. So you don't even think it should have been a draw? You think that?
No, I'm saying a draw is fine, but for Lamont to win, I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Continue.
So no, I mean, I agree. I think so. A draw was a fair decision. But if it was any, like, if the fight would have went the other way, so like if Lamont would have been, if Lamont would have been the one taking some of the punches and some of the counters that Tank took during the fight, I think they would have chose Tank as the winner outright of that fight. But I kind of sort of made this comment when I was watching the fight with some of my friends and my family, whatever. I said that Lamont Roach is doing really well, but the only way he's going to be called the winner or be, the champion is he's going to have to like whoop Tank, because like whenever you have a champion who draws, money, like, because at the end of the day, this is entertainment, so it's about money. If Tank is drawing all the money, you have to really like knock him out or knock him down or something like so. Where it's like you have to put some wow factor into the fight. And we all know Lamont, boxed really well. He did good.
Yeah,
he landed more punches. He also threw more punches, but it was too close. Like so they couldn't dethrone the king per se.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You couldn't do that in a close fight. So he
didn't
do enough to be the outright winner.
That's what I said. I agree with that.
That's
it was
fair.
such a close fight. It had me nervous, but I was just from start to finish. But I think Lamont came out. He proved himself.
He really did.
Even if people claim Tank had an off night, you can't deny the fact that Lamont can box at the end of the day. It was a great fight. I mean, Deja, you think that he actually won the fight though? Like he should have won.
I just feel like, to me, a tie just sounds disgusting. Like that's
was annoying.
BS to me. It's either like choose somebody. I guess that's why I'm really saying that. A draw just sounds nuts. Like if it's football, if it's whatever. I just like having that -1 just looks ridiculous. Like I guess that's why I said that. A draw just sounds. You might as well not even fought. That's so. It just sounds so childish.
But the rematch gonna be crazy now, though.
Oh my god! Crazy, what if they had to fight in the DMV? That would be crazy.
Yes, at the
they can't.
Yeah, that would be crazy. Cap 1 would be crazy.
Oh my gosh! But I know. Speaking of DMV, DC, but there were a few crazy trades that has been happening in the NFL. And most recently, Deebo Samuels is coming to the Commanders. Do y'all think this is Romello, do you think this is a good look? I know because you're very immersed in DC sports. So what do you think about it?
I think it's a really good trade. I think we got Deebo at a time where he wants to get paid again. So I think that's always good when you get a player who's hungry and who has a point to prove, because they listen to just as much of the media as we civilians do. Well, they're civilians too, but we who don't play sports, we they listen just as much. So getting Deebo and for a 5th round pick, which probably would have been like a second string, third string special teams guy, paying him, and he's only getting I think 20 million or something like that this year, and then I think next year is is a little less or whatever, something like that. But getting Deebo for a 5th round pick is always good. He's going to help Terry tremendously. He's going to help Jaden tremendously. The offense, it opens up just for everybody else that much more. Brian Robinson is going to benefit. So perfect.
Yeah, I had a question to ask you. We talked. I don't know if it was a little bit before the season. I don't know if it's 2023, but we talked about how could a quarterback be the key for us, right? And now we know in the future it was. But we had Sam Howell, and then who did we have before that? Somebody else, right?
Was it that old guy?
Heineke.
Heineke. Oh, okay.
I'm just saying, like, seeing those two, did you expect us to have this season? We thought those QBs could be the key, but Jaden, we now know. But I'm saying, did you think that this could happen for our season to go so well?
I'll be completely honest. I had I'm not gonna say I had no faith, but like, to be honest, like being completely honest, I would have been satisfied with a 7-win season, just because it showed progress. You know what I mean? Like I didn't come into the season. Now I know Jaden. I knew Jaden was good because that's the quarterback that I wanted over all of the other quarterbacks, just because what he did in college and how he improved in college. But I didn't expect us to have that much success right away. 12 wins is, for me in my lifetime, I've only seen 10 wins, I think once, maybe one time. So like for them to go from 4 to 12 wins in one season, and then win 2 playoff games on top of that, I was in heaven. I was not, I was on cloud 9 for a lot of the season. So I did not expect it. I only expected 7, maybe 9 wins. You know what I mean? So I was happy.
I'm sorry, Deja. I gotta ask another question. Do you think that they put the ceiling too high for us now?
Of course. Like I mean, because even now in free agency, right? I'm looking at some of the responses to the players that we've signed, or the other guy, the left tackle that we traded for and what we sent and stuff like that. I think when you have fans like who only really see things their way, like they don't really take into account like the whole perspective. There's always going to be somebody who's not satisfied with what's going on. And then the fact that we just won 12 games, like the expectations is now 12 or better. You know what I mean? Like we can have just as good a season next season if we win 10 games. You know what I mean? Like you can win 10 games and still have a really good season. You know what I mean? So you know what I mean? Like making the playoffs, winning a playoff game or whatever is still just as good, but we won 12 games and now we see Super Bowl, like, because we were right there. So like that window is now open and people, we have to, I hope we do it, but
me too.
The bar is now here when we expected it to be about here in year 2. Now it's way, it's all the way up there. So they got to reach. They got to reach.
100%. I agree with that. I know I saw DK Metcalf went to the Steelers.
Yeah.
And I know they're still trying to figure out their quarterback situation. I believe, but
yeah, they are.
Do you like, what do you think about that?
I like the move because Pickens needed help last year. If you watch some of the Steelers games, that's kind of where they was lacking. That was the airmail stuff. Pickens was out there, but they didn't have no other options. They had that short slot receiver, but whatever. But I think the issue lies at the QB spot. If you don't got nobody to throw them the ball, it's like, does the wide receivers even matter? But I do like the move to Pittsburgh for DK. I think that the Seahawks, they blew the whole ship up. So it's like that.
They did.
It's happy he got early, and they just shipped away. The Steelers just shipped away Justin Fields to the Jets.
Yeah, so like, he was in Dubai celebrating. I'm like, boy.
Yeah. I think it was a great move though. But like you said, without a QB, what is it?
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, I totally agree with it. Speaking of QBs, my boy, I'm gonna always be a secret Buffalo Bills fan. I don't care.
Oh my gosh.
Josh Allen just got that check.
Yeah, he ain't deserve that.
Yeah, he got it.
You think he can't beat Patty? If you can't beat Patty, like,
excuse you.
Nobody can beat Patty. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? Like, well, the Eagles just did, but Lamar can't beat Patty, and Lamar's great. Lamar deserves every bit of every dollar he gets. So I mean, that Mahomes is just, he's too good. But Josh Allen, I think he deserved that check, man. I think he's progressed really well in his career, and I think he's probably one of the top, 3 to 5 quarterbacks in the NFL right now.
He needs that freaking Super Bowl. It is that time though. You got it. Like, come on. You keep getting to the so close,
so can I ask you a question though? Can I ask y'all a question about Josh Allen? I would say, do you think he deserved to win MVP?
No.
Okay.
No, I think Lamar definitely should have won. I know people had the argument that Josh Allen's stats last year were better than Lamar's, and then Lamar won it last year, and then now this year it was vice versa. But I just think that Lamar's impact for his team, his stats, his rushing yards, his touchdowns, his less interceptions, more throwing yards. It's like, come on, like look at it side by side. But I mean, I can see why they gave the Josh, but they said that was the charity award for him to get his family. So. What you think? You think he deserved it?
I think I would say yes, because like even sometimes when you look at stats, right? If you look at the rest of what he had, Josh Allen, like what he had on his, the players, in terms of like star power, like he didn't have, even though James Cook is really good, he didn't have Derrick Henry. You know what I mean?
Even though nobody.
Yeah, right. Right. You know what I mean? Like he had, Khalil Shakir.
You're right.
At running at receiver. Not saying who was that, because he played really well last year too. But then he had Mac Hollins, the guy who walks without shoes, and
he went to UNC.
Doesn't wear clothes in the wintertime. So so you know what I'm saying? Like he so like when you look at his team.
Yeah.
Was his stats better than Lamar's? No, of course not. There's not going to be too many quarterbacks who can do what Lamar does. But then it's like Lamar has to take his team to the next level. And I feel like, Lamar, while them being really good and him being really good, I think last year he didn't get it because they didn't he didn't take the Ravens to that next level in terms of them being like the favorite. You know what I mean?
I understand. They still have some regular season struggles for sure.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
QB is crucial for sure. Oh, Deja's really good at transitioning. Thank you.
Yeah. W chat.
I don't want us to leave the trade conversation before we talk about what I think a lot of people thought was the biggest trade that happened all year, or in sports right now, whatever. Luka going to the Lakers.
It's the biggest trade of the last decade.
No one
expected
that. That was Dallas's marquee player, like the face of their team, and they just, like DeAndre would say, shift them to LA.
Yes.
Looking like it's working out more for LA than Dallas, because Dallas, they done broke apart
100%.
in 2 seconds. But did you in your mind, is that a good look in your mind, Romello? Like him being at the Lakers now?
I think him being in the Lakers is good for him and is good for the NBA. I think it's definitely good for him because, you know, if he cares about endorsements and
that's true,
all of that other stuff, like he's a Laker, you know what I mean? He has on that purple and gold, so the money will come in for him. And then it's good for the NBA because, you know, just like in like other sports, you know, when you have your marquee franchises, the Lakers, you know, they're a marquee franchise for the NBA. You know, Lakers, Celtics, Knicks, you know what I mean, Sixers, like the teams who are here, you know, forever ago. So if they're good, then the NBA is in good hands. And I think Luka, you know, with LeBron's last few years in the league, you know, LeBron still being, you know, as good as he is, I think for sure, you know, Luka will benefit from being, you know, a Laker versus him being in Dallas.
Yeah, definitely. Deja, what you think though?
This might sound crazy, but to me, it was more so a shocking thing for me. It wasn't more so like I never looked at it from a basketball standpoint. I don't know why I didn't. I guess this whole situation, I looked at it from like a pop culture standpoint. What I mean by that, I never analyzed to say, oh, this is going to be good for the Lakers. This is good for the Mavericks. Like, it was just like, oh, shoot, that's crazy. And then I went about my business, to be honest. So I don't really have a major opinion. I just want to see how it plays out, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, it was a blockbuster trade.
It was crazy.
You give arguably a
and the coach didn't even know. Jason Kidd said he didn't even know. That's allegedly.
That's crazy. Allegedly.
You give your franchise top 10 player away to LA with. First of all, I know LA may not be shooting. Of course, they're like maybe second seed or third seed in the NBA right now due to their like recent success. But I don't know if they're shooting to, you know, they can win a championship this year. Of course, every team wants to. But you think about the next 10 years, you got Luka. Look who you can build around once LeBron retires. It's like this team could be serious. And
that's so true.
You give LA Luka or AD, who's injury prone. And look what happened.
And then he gets injured.
First game. He goes down and doesn't come back.
Like that's just crazy.
It's embarrassing.
Nico, the GM should be embarrassed. That's a horrible.
Extremely.
And they say because of weight and because of his drinking or whatever. Come on, man. That's like minimal errors. You don't give away top 10 players for stuff like that. You deal with that at least.
They did well in the playoffs last year. So it doesn't make sense.
Exactly.
On a bad leg at that. Yeah, he
on a bad leg.
Luka had a bad leg. He had a bad leg and took him to the finals. So yeah, that's crazy. Nico Harrison should be fired. He should be fired and never like he shouldn't even be allowed in the arena. Like
for real. For real. That's
for real. As the woman of this group, I do want to talk a little bit about the WNBA because the girls have been doing their thing. And if for people who ain't been tuning in as of late,
He said the W.
No, I said the W. They call it the W.
Yeah. I just think that I had just seen that Serena Williams is one of the owners or going to be one of the owners of the new team that's coming to Toronto Tempo. So I wanted to ask y'all, what city do y'all think should be the next to get a WNBA team? It could be any city, really.
It's a lot.
Man, when we had Queenie, she would be barking all the time. Like, it's fine.
I think I know the team is coming to the Valkyries. Where they coming to?
Golden State area.
Golden State. I think any place in California is a great place to have a team. I think it's I know they got the Sparks already, but I'm just saying any other parts, it's easy to build fan bases in, of course, high populated areas. So I think as long as the WNBA continues to, pinpoint places that have good NBA teams, it could be an easy switch, especially if they're getting, because Paige Beckers is supposed to come to Valkyries. So it's like, you can get the top players next to other NBA top players. Is like, that's a perfect collab.
That's true.
Because the WNBA is on the rise. Whether you like it or not, the women are they probably already been good, but people are starting to notice now. So
I
think that's really important.
No, that's true. That's true. I know they've been in like a I don't know if y'all knew about like the Unrivaled League. It's like they were doing some stuff in the off season. It seemed like they really, like, when you watch women's basketball, it really feels like it's just strictly fundamentals. Like they be going, it's just like, can you play basketball? Yes or no? That's how it really feels. And I like it, but
I like that too. I think the Unrivaled, I just think Steph Curry became a investor in it. So I think people are starting to notice that the WNBA or women's players in general, that it is a rise. You see, like we just talked about the college March Madness. You got Juju, you got Paige, you got I don't know her name, but the point guard on Notre Dame, she's really good. Two guards on Notre Dame, they're really good. So it's like, people are starting to notice that, it's an incline in the sport, regardless of, gender. So it should be good. It should be good.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I know it's 7:01 now, so I do want to ask, the way we kind of wrap up our episodes is a hashtag Go Cultivate, which is basically a tip we try to leave people with, something that's related to the episode. So I wanted to ask, because we talked about this a little bit the last time you were on here. Can you give one good tip or advice for the newbies who want to get into sports betting? Like one decent tip.
Another tip. Okay. So a good tip for sports betting, it would be I can give you two. Manage your bankroll, right?
I don't even know what
that means. What that means is, right, if you know that let's say you only have $100, right, and you just load up $100. Don't worry about trying to turn the 100 into 100,000 at one time. You know what I mean? Manage your bankroll means understand that, okay, a win is a win. And if I bet $5 to win $20, that means I have $20 more than I had yesterday. You know what I mean? So like, it's just managing your bankroll and understanding your pocket. That's one. And two, well, I kind of sort of alluded to it with the last one, but don't chase. You know what I mean? Like, don't chase the dollar amount. You know what I mean? Like, just literally focus on just winning. Just win, like, because at the end of the day, you are playing against like Vegas. Like it's literally you're going against Vegas. You know what I mean? So you're not betting the players that are playing. You should focus on winning. So do whatever it is. Oh, I have one more.
Okay.
And then the last one, do your own research. Do your own research. Like, and if you don't know what that is, use YouTube to figure out how and what to look at and what you should do when gambling or when trying to do your research for gambling. Because I know so many people that pay, the what they call cappers, the ones who are in the Discords and send out all the links and all that stuff. You know what I mean? People pay those guys to do the research for them, and like you're blind betting. You know what I mean? Like you wouldn't bet, like DeAndre, you wouldn't bet somebody $5 in a one-on-one basketball game blindfolded, right?
Right, exactly.
Right. So it's like you shouldn't do that with your money either. You know what I mean? Like, even though they do a lot of research and they do it really well, if you're not willing to do the research and try to figure things out on your own, then I don't think you should be gambling.
That's good tips.
I like that. I like that a lot. I'm stingy with my money, so I won't be betting. But I wanted to make sure, because I know a lot of people are interested in it or kind of do it now. So I wanted to ask.
Every other commercial is a sports betting commercial.
Literally.
Facts.
It's crazy.
It's definitely a $1 trillion company on the way for sure. Business. So.
Well, don't be surprised if you see Romello on your TVs at some point, because he knows all about sports, and I feel like he always has some really good knowledge about it. And we love when you join us for Cultivate Sports Huddle as always. So we appreciate it,
man. W chat.
Thank you everybody for joining too.
Yes, thank everybody for joining. And De'Arn and I will be back next week. And hopefully we'll have Romello on again soon. But until then, make sure y'all tune into all of these sports, men and women, and try to look at a sport that you ain't seen before. Do something. Just try to expand your knowledge about it. But anyway, we will see y'all next week. And we love y'all.
Peace out.
Yes, peace.
Peace and blessings.